All right, happy Sunday, guys. Let's get straight into this weekend, sort of weekend pre-planning for the week ahead. We'll start with Forex. Obviously, markets are shut now, so we can sort of relax a little bit doing our pre-planning. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So we got gold here, which has closed outside of this range, and not only has it closed, but it's also continued to push higher. Which isn't ideal. It is still within our deviation limit, as we can see very, very well within our deviation limit. But delete that. Definitely delete this. But yeah, for now you can see it's clearly wanting to push up into this massive, massive supply area. So yeah, for the time being, we'll just wait and see what happens. Ideally, I'd like to see a tap and then straight back in here, so we can continue up for that third tap and then push down, something like that. But yeah, anything can really happen, so we can only wait and see. But that's sort of what I would like to see on gold for the time being. Yeah, from a local standpoint, yeah, nothing really worth monitoring from a local standpoint. But this is our range for now. Silver, sort of a similar scenario with silver, but a bit of a more upward pull or more upward move, if you will. Yeah, we have exceeded this deviation limit, and we're continuing to push higher. So yeah, this is now no longer a range that we are interested in. And the only thing we'd be interested in now is seeing some ranges form in here, in this supply range. So yeah, we've got our alert set for when we enter this zone. But yeah, for now we can only wait and see. So yeah, in terms of silver, nothing really worth monitoring for now. Yeah, just got to wait and see. All right, that is silver. Euro USD. Obviously, we are in a quite a bit of a range within range environment here. We've obviously mitigated this supply. There we go. We may or may not have already mitigated this. As I said, guys, it's not your screen that's laggy. Mine is also laggy, hence why you are probably experiencing some lag. Okay, so we've sort of just front ran this very refined supply POI zone. which price can come back to later on. And now, as of our range within range scenario, we have obviously mitigated these sort of this demand area. I'm not really interested in this. I would still like price to slowly come down into an either sweep and reverse or sweep and mitigate this very extreme demand PI, because looking at the range from a displacement standpoint, tap 1 and 2, if tap, by the time this slowly pulls down, you get a tap 3 somewhere around here, and that is, like, from a spacing perspective, that's fine. Like tap 1 and 2 being where it is, and tap 2 and 3, given tap 3's around here, distance wise, that's right. If tap 3 is like here, then yeah, I'm not really interested in this zone anymore. It's definitely going to be a low probability range, but it will still be a high probability range if we can get our third tap around here. And what I mean by that third tap is to sweep this extreme liquidity and then either reverse break structure back up or mitigate this extreme demand as well. If we do both, then that is obviously the optimal scenario. But for now, yeah, we can only wait. It's not really compressing, or maybe a little bit. Its price is ever so slightly compressing here, like ever so slightly. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, as of now, I'm not really anything local in here. I'm not really interested in it. Yeah, and that's kind of it for Euro from me, Euro USD. Whatever the supply I had here, it's clearly been mitigated. Yeah, probably that. Yeah, at the time, that was valid supply, but this has now been mitigated. See where we are here. Yeah, ideally, like we want to slowly start coming up into this third tap, and yeah, we've mitigated this demand. It's not really required that we're going to mitigate this demand before making our third tap. We'll probably make our third tap, if anything, and then slowly come back down. Probably react up a little bit, and then come back down and complete the distribution schematic. But yeah, that's sort of what I would like to see. Obviously, there's a lot of things I would like to see, but you can never really predict the exact price movements. But yeah, it would be good to see price now that we've mitigated this main demand area. We would like to see price form some form of accumulation and start making its way back up. Maybe if anything here. This could be valid if we get a nice return to zone coming into that third tap. This will actually be a decent range. So far, we have been ranging for 1 day. That's a decent 1 day range. Now let's see what more refined zones we have in here. Two. That's valid. I am fucking back, baby. I am fucking back. Man, you gotta have self-belief when you're doing this stuff. Obviously, you gotta back your strategy and you gotta have good psychology, but with anything you do in life, guys, you gotta have self-belief. If you don't believe in anything that you're doing, then just don't do it. You're wasting your time. It's that simple. Yeah, and I fucking believe I'll make this work. I fucking know it. I just know it. There is no two ways around it. I'm trying to find a worthy POI. Maybe extreme liquidity would be somewhere here. Well, from the get-go, there's no real extreme demand in this range. You could even say this would have been extreme liquidity. You could say this was extreme liquidity and then this was our tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. Something like this. I need to redraw this range, that's for sure. Yeah, this is terrible. Let's redraw the range first. Yeah, this could have been extreme liquidity and then this could be tab 3. But there wasn't any extreme demand though in this little area. Technically this, and you have the extreme liquidity like in the demand. Like if you were to look at this, then that is valid extreme demand. And then you have this, yeah, you can see you got the liquidity right inside it, but ideally this is just a very close looking tab 2 and 3, which becomes a extended model, which is then a extended Model 3. Because yeah, and then like you can see this return to zone already just from here. Like, have a look at this. Price has all the right reasons to come back and sweep all these lows. Low, low, low. Look at this. This is, yeah. Honestly, I'd like for price to even actually just come all the way down and make create a Model 3, create a Model 1 from a third tap sweeping this low here. So rather than just coming in here and then moving up. But for now, we can only trade what we have. And given this, I have to use this as my extreme liquidity. Because this is not an extreme liquidity point as it has swept this. So my only extreme liquidity point is this. So this will be my Euro USD by GBP USD pre-planning. And other than that, may as well see if there's anything more refined in here. Okay. Yeah, there's not real much else to mine in there outside of this 12 hour, I believe it was, or 18 hour. Technically, because that's an inside bar candle, which you shouldn't really be using. So technically, this, well, not technically, it is. This is the true demand POI, which seems to have been mitigated. Yeah, so there's nothing really else here for tap. There's no real reason for this to become a Model 1 other than to just sweep all these lows. But we'll be very happy with just the liquidity sweep here and a reversal. There's no need to sweep this low because this low has already swept this previous low. So yeah, this is my pre-planning with GBP USD for the time being. All right, AUD USD. we have mitigated this. Whatever demand was in here has been mitigated. Yeah, you can see it was somewhere from there. That's fine. Contextually speaking, from AUD USD, I believe we were in a very high time frame premium range pricing, which we are in. It's a weekly OBIF. It's pretty good. Is it valid on the 2 weeks? Negative, just a weekly. And we do have a daily structure supply block here as well. Probably does sweep some form of liquidity. Just given this range is just so big, I don't need to go that deep into the supply POIs. Like, it's more so of a, we'll look for new supply POIs when we get to these ones first. Yeah, I don't have to be plotting around to see what's up here. It's just too grand of a scale. Well, we've just mitigated this supply. Look at that, guys. Look at that. This is what I mean by confidences. Like, from memory, I don't think I was. Obviously, I've drawn it up here, but I don't think I took this trade. But when I'm talking about extra confidences, this is as extra confidence as you can get when you're approaching an 18-hour supply zone, and your tap 3 is right in here. Like, you should be taking this trade with so much confidence. Yeah, like, and look at this. We've ended up we hit our technical target as well. Like, man, this is just such a high quality setup. That's why it is just so imperative that these key supply and demand POIs get marked out on your charts. Because yeah, if this had not been here, you would just be like, oh, it's just not a distribution model. But then because you know it's here, you're like, well, we've just mitigated off our second tap. Third tap, if we get a break of structure, I'm shorting the shit out of this because we've mitigated this supply zone. So yeah, like having supply and demand correctly plotted on your charts is the most important thing you guys can do, and something I'm still working on. So was there anything here? Yeah, I'm not gonna bother pointing this out, this has all been taken, you can see. We can grab this. In terms of AUD USD right now, there's nothing really to look out for. It's more so let's just see price move around a little bit more and give us something. Because yeah, from a contextually speaking, inside bar, like there'll probably be some more refined supply in here. Yeah, so this supply is yet to be mitigated on the 18-hour. So I guess, yeah, for now, if anything, I'd like to see price slowly make its way back up into this 18-hour structured supply POI and form some distribution schematics from there. All right, USD CAD. Well, this schematic is now complete. Our 3-tap distribution model. Not the cleanest, definitely not the cleanest. I personally would not have taken this. I wouldn't have taken it just because, yeah, pretty abrupt move up into our 3rd tap. The only thing that would be, I guess, high confidence is the fact that we've perfectly mitigated this this supply, and then we've also swept this extreme liquidity quite nice. But other than that, yeah, like the manipulation here is very evident. I'll say that. You would have only broken structure here though. So given you short around here, you obviously have to put your stops there. Let's say you shorted like there. You know what? It's pretty good. Like a 5.83 restrict. What am I looking at, guys? Far out. No, that's terrible. 1.51. Like the break of structure was just way too low in this. But let's see what we're. Yeah, so we are in a. Technically, we're in an accumulation now. Meaning, I would like to see price mitigate this supply and then slowly come back down, which is very possible. Okay, so that's yeah, that has pretty much been mitigated. Well, we do have a valid 2-day OBIF here. This obviously has been mitigated. And then yeah, this accumulation model here. This one will go. Yeah, this is really the range that we're monitoring now. Let's draw our structure. So that's our 4-hour structure, which we never really broke back, as you can see. Yeah, it's only 3 hours because we got a. I'm looking at it from here. It's not really 3-hour either. This isn't really the nicest range, to be fair. The more I look at this, the more I'm like, I don't like this. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't draw your. Yeah, it's an incorrect range. You can't draw your range from here because. Because you're technically in an uptrend. You can only draw your range based on the highest time frame the range is drawable, and if the highest time frame the range is drawable is an uptrend, then you have to draw it as it's an uptrend. So this is not a valid range here. Then you got to realize that it breaks structure back up. So yeah, it's a low probability move, this one, which is something I would not look into too much. But it doesn't mean we can't plot out supply and demand POIs. Six. Is it? Two? No, not really. Probably four, yeah. We'll plot it. It's not the nicest, but it is demand. It's definitely structured demand. Like when you see stuff like this, it's some form of structured demand. Why am I saying it's sketchy? Is because we don't have two consecutive down candles and then two consecutive upward. You got the three consecutive downward, but then you've got this upward candle here, followed by a downward, and followed by two consecutive upward ones. So, but yeah, it is still demand at the end of the day, which is why we can leave it there. Yeah, and then in terms of USD CAD, nothing really for the time being, other than just let price do its thing for a bit. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to quickly turn my light on. GBP JPY. We've mitigated this supply. Personally, I would still like price to it is kind of too far out for it. It's like if it makes that third tab, let's say here, you know what, that's pretty valid. But what you do have to realize, if it does that, it'll have to be a fast push up. It has, from a timing standpoint, the third tap can only be around here in terms of distance and timing from the second tap. So given this, for it to be here where price is now, it's going to have to quickly start moving up here, whereas you're not really going to get this cleaner looking pull back into the range followed by a slower pull up, or slow ascent upward, which is why I don't really like tap 3 to be in this supply POI. I'd rather this to be a model 2 and tap 3 grabs either an extreme supply or extreme liquidity from this range. Hopefully we'll probably start accumulating at some point in here. But even so, like right now, like what can price grab? Not much. We need a lot more. Like this is a big range, so you need a lot more data happening. So it'll be pretty hard to trade anything in here just from the timing perspective and where the range, this lower time frame range, is in comparison to the high time frame range. So if I was to trade an accumulation model in here, insinuating the price will go up higher, it's like price might not go up higher because the expectational order flow is for the price to pull back into this range, because we're in such a premium pricing point within this high time frame range. So yeah, we kind of have to be careful in terms of what price gives us. But at the end of the day, if the model's very high quality, then you can take it. So as of now, GBP, JPY, not really looking at anything else apart from just letting price do its thing. We've obviously mitigated this supply. But we haven't mitigated this one. Or have we? Just front ran this. So as of now, we're pretty much just going to see how price reacts between these two supply and demand areas. And that's it. All right, GBP and Z. Yeah, price is definitely looking to complete this high time frame distribution schematic. So pretty much all we want to do is look for trades, essentially look for continued distribution models. Even though it's in range discount, we're expecting the schematic to complete itself. So distributions are still technically allowed because they're essentially pro context. As the context is, we're expecting this distribution schematic to complete itself and hit this range low. And yeah, perfect example is actually this, because it wasn't the cleanest, or was it? Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest move, but because we're in such a pro context area, the schematic completed itself. So for GBP and Z, yeah, nothing else I'm really interested in. Okay, it is a 6 hour demand by the looks of things. If you were to ever catch a little lower time frame accumulation, you'd be catching it in here. Otherwise, I would not be looking for accumulations anywhere in here. Yeah, as for the context, which we have already spoken about. Yeah, GBP and Z, not much more to look at. Is that that has been mitigated? Has been mitigated. But this has not. Alright, that's it for GBP and Z. Not really interested in anything else. Euro GBP. Ran through this. Mitigated that. It's not really in range. Okay, we're kind of ranging here. Pretty big weekly range. Lots of buy side liquidity here, which can get taken out. Yeah, there's no real supply there. Everything there was supply has been mitigated. In terms of Euro GBP, not much other than maybe some form of reaction of this demand. But otherwise, not really. Maybe we come back during the week and form a little accumulation model in here, or during the week, during tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. And that's kind of it, really. Let's look at Euro NZD. Yeah, we're sort of just trending up here. Um, I'm not a fan of why I pulled this return to zone from there. Yeah, we pretty much ran through all this demand. This would have had to be some crazy low time frame supply. Oh, is this an hour? This is an hour, that's fair enough. 2 hour maybe. Maybe like 45 minutes. Yeah, so 45 minutes supply POI here. If anything, we'd like potentially, well, given we've already mitigated this demand, we can always see if there's something more refined. That's always all good. And this is actually valid. So here you go. My next sort of intention is to catch some form of accumulation off this demand POI. And that's kind of it for Euro NZD. Nothing really. Yeah, catch a little accumulation model up into this 45-minute OBIF, was it? Yes. Which has also swapped liquidity as you saw above. Yeah, that's it for this. Let's move on. Okay, ignore all the drawings here. Yeah, this was a setup I had pre-planned, which never got confirmed, hence why I never entered. As you can see, we just broke straight through this demand. Yeah, price action here is not the nicest. Same thing, probably maybe if anything, catch a low time frame accumulation to fill some of this imbalance up in here. But other than that, not much else interests me for this pair right now. And then obviously you've got such a high time frame demand below. But actually, it's just like maybe daily, if anything. Two days. There you go. 2 days, guys. 2-day OVIF. This was the infamous one which we got stopped out on, if anyone remembers. Although, yeah, we got the expectational order flow correct. The entry was off. It's part of the game you play. Yeah, in terms of this, not really interested for anything else at the moment. Let's move on to USDJPY. We've obviously got demand below. Alerts are still on, which is good. Ran through, respected. We're kind of compressing here. Like very ever so slightly. Yeah, other than that, like, same thing, just wait and see. Let's get more data. AUD CAD. We've ran through this, so that can I don't think I've ever taken anything on this pair. I could be wrong, but I don't think I have. It's never really presented me with anything concrete, really. And it might continue to not do so. Here you go, 3-day OBIF. That's all we're gonna get. But yeah, like we're so far away at our 3-day OBIF. And then obviously all the supply we had here has been mitigated. Maybe in here there's something. Looking there. And voila. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Has this been mitigated? No, but we are approaching it, so yeah. Not really interested until we move into this supply POI, and then we can talk, as they say. Alright, and the decad. We've swept quite a bit of this liquidity. Where were we contextually? Yeah, so we can expect price to move up. Like, this is a beautiful range. Really nice. Really, really nice. This is beautiful. I think what I'm expecting here is a retracement into some form of retracement into here. That's what I'm expecting. Something I can enter and just let it run. Yeah, if I can catch some sort of distribution into here and then catch some form of accumulation from this demand, then I'm pretty happy with that. This should be red. Come on. Then we've obviously got supply up here, which we can hopefully mitigate, ideally, before fully completing this expansion down. All right. Yeah, that's it for NZD CAD. That's all I've got. Before I go, yeah, and you've got a little compression forming here as well, nicely. Beautiful. It's not the cleanest, but it's something. Yeah, that's it for NZDK. That's it for Forex. I'll do a separate market update for crypto. So we'll have the two videos come out today on the Sunday. That's it for me, guys. Peace. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.